Hello.
Um,
There we go. That's right. I gotta click on them. Hello. How you
How's it
doing?
going? Good, man.
I'm gonna try to put this live on Facebook. We'll see if it works again.
That's cool.
I only do it when the person says they want it, or some people don't even know what it is, or they're not on Facebook anymore themselves. So,
Yeah.
like, I had met this guy Matthew Hupert, who Great Weather for Media stuff, and he really knew what he was doing with it, so he helped. So, but
It's worth an effort.
yeah,
It's worth a try. Yeah.
other
cool.
people can watch it later. Hey, Noah.
Hello.
Nice hat.
Thank you. How are you? Great hat yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm hoping we're not far away from meeting again. I got my fingers crossed about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working on getting my shot and all that.
Yeah.
Because we prefer to get the one shot than the two shots.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
But there's a place near us, but they ran out of the what they I just missed, like, they ran out of the one shot. The first shot.
Yeah. Oh, getting an
Moderna.
appointment. Yeah, I hear it's difficult. Yeah.
So maybe in the next few days, I try every day, but I don't really want to travel to Jamaica. I don't want to go. Hey, Alana. I don't want to travel to York College in Jamaica, so I'm not hot for that. But I guess I will if I have to.
Good luck. Good luck, man.
Yeah.
I found my opening through some Twitter account my sister sent me. Like she said to me, she's like, "Oh, here, check this out. If there's an opening," and I just woken up, so I was really looking forward to telling her she was wasting my time. And as soon as I clicked on, within 10 minutes, I had an appointment. I mean, some dumb luck, but
there's also people who will make appointments for you, and we've tried them, but nothing has happened with that at least for my wife. I can't remember who they were. There's some organization in Jackson Heights who makes appointments for you or helps you.
Oh, wow.
Like guides you to the best the portal. I mean, Aviation High School is supposed to have it, but every time I check, they say they don't have. That's in Sunnyside, that they don't have any more first shots. But I don't know. Thanks, Andrew Cuomo. All right, that's all.
Let's not go about it.
Thanks for your management.
Yeah.
I think I'll hire my friend Dave to manage the vaccines. That'll be if I become governor.
Yeah. Cuomo.
Okay. All right. Here we go. John H.
I'm supposed to go for my second shot next week.
Oh, great.
I'm able to pull because I work for a progressive candidate. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to have my on the 24th, my second shot.
Is it Moderna, Pfizer, whatever?
It's a Pfizer. I had a reaction, jet lag for a day, and my arm hurt for a few days. So I
I've
don't know
heard
what
that.
the
I've
hell's.
heard that.
So
My
I don't
dad
know what's
allergic
going to happen with
response
this
in
one,
general, but
the
yeah,
second one.
yeah. Great. Hey, John,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good.
All right. So
And that,
all right, let's see who else is supposed to be here. I'm putting this on Facebook Live. Hopefully we'll see if that works. It's hard to monitor both at the same time, but sorry. Who am I waiting for? Sarah Sarai. I will start in a couple of minutes. Is everyone okay? Healthy, safe?
was tired,
Mhm,
pushing the clock forward messes me up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the point of that anymore.
If you're into horoscopes, how do you figure?
Right.
It screws up your whole body. Even the animals get screwed up.
Yeah, well, yeah. They don't care about the clock, probably, but yeah. The animals don't like when it comes like dark in the house early. They get confused, like when's the next meal. But all right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Made a whole pile of vegan sliders tonight.
Nice.
Sweet potatoes, and then I had like the bean and mushroom burgers in between. It's delicious. A little too spicy. I'm gonna go easy on the spice next time around. Oh God, I'm tired.
Okay, Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
You look comfortable, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm in bed.
I want to be on my sofa. I'm really dead. I'm feeling tired.
Why not? Why not be in bed? It's
Yeah,
But
it's a good idea. I'm
Well,
gonna fall asleep.
you with your blue glasses.
yes. Sarah.
Those in Wyman.
My computer glasses.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, these are my other glasses.
Okay.
Now you know. You want me to wear them both?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. No, I can't. I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
You look like you're ready to be like my uncle in his last days, go out in your pajamas and direct traffic on Broadway.
I do. Well, one, I'm not wearing my pajamas, but maybe I'll consider it.
It's a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that yesterday. So.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like your Afghan.
Thanks, but this is a baby blanket that my great grandmother made.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I should pick a poem to read.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay. Kind of waiting for our feature to pop up, but so far no. But we'll start in a
She
second.
will. People are. It's okay.
It's okay.
Are you ill, Patty, or are you just
Pooped.
verklempt? Okay.
I should be sleepy, but I'm I'm wired, okay? I had insomnia last night, so I was up till like 4 o'clock.
Oh.
All right.
Do you do anything like drink or to help you get back to sleep?
I was working on the computer.
Oh, okay.
Brownstone work.
That's probably why you can't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get too close to if you have the computer going on too close to getting to bed, sometimes it's very unsettling for your system. It's hard to shut down. That's what I find anyway.
I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna start this in a second. I'm trying to go live on Facebook, so just give me a second.
We're fine.
Okay.
We're cool.
We have great faith in you.
All right, it's gonna take a
Oh
second.
my God.
All right, what's this?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Hi, Patty. I'm gonna wake you up, but you can go back to sleep now.
Well, suppose she starts, I'll wake up.
All right.
Let me have some water. I should have done this fucking thing. Oh, listen to this stuff. Yeah. Just got a notification from Facebook saying that this is on now.
Okay.
Let me turn this off.
Well, then we're legit.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay. It says it's on. That's good. Welcome to the Risk Discovery Reading Series, everyone. Hope everyone's healthy and safe. And today's feature is Terese Svodoba, writer of many, many books of poetry and fiction. And she should be joining us shortly, she said. So every one of these, I start with my poetry prompts that I've written and do the day or two before. And this will be no exception. And I'm going to read 3 of them. And I'm going to read the first one, which is write a 14-line American broken sonnet using the words flip, shamrock, hedge, turtleneck, and resonance. And the title is Standing Loss in Cities, Trying to Protect Us from Sneezes. Standing losses in cities, trying to protect us from sneezes. I wake up, it's 9:30 a.m., but it's really 8:30 a.m. and the heating is bloating and I'm still sleepy and can't believe it's been a year. All the spirits we lost to darkness, all the traumatized recovering still roaming with their baggage, their damages. Can we reap a bounty of shamrocks instead of gray stones, trying to sow another stoning, another group or person to blame as if they are bugs or vultures to be eliminated? Not putting on our stereotypical turtlenecks, thinking creatively, philosophically, humanely. The sun shines out this morning and my imagination wants to do backflips as the sounds of the streets blow by like a breath in the wind. Yet it is too early to hedge our bets, to ascend into the raucous crowd of a concert or a parade or celebration. The resonance of our heartbeats, a sound to be protected. So there's that one. Then I'm going to read thank you. Then I'm going to read number 3, write a 9-line rhyming poem called After Falling on the Floor, Stars, Games, Systems. Apothecaries put salves on wounds before you swoon. If you writhe in pain, you are forced to play phone tag with supposed really human bots and bureaucratic gambling slots. You'd rather listen to video game songs, not perpetually worrying about animal, vegetable, mineral will erode to nothingness. With clay and amber and codes, we must construct ourselves, delving into future spaces as us, not as merely individual faces. The moon, Mars, other Earth-like planets seem like empty canvases we do not know until we dig and search, at least for a boon. All right, Maria, I just let you back in. Okay, there you go. Okay. And I'm going to read one more. Let's get it right on. All right, so this is what is the... And this is just called number 4. Do the reckless eat pizza while jogging, listening to tunes? The weary combat mania by baking bagels, forgetting what is lost. I dream of walking through tunnels only to arrive at a rock club where the crowd is surfing, clapping, drinking before shutdowns. Cryptocurrency, crypto art, a robbery so cryptic, in and out of the crypt, the keepers. Confusion tries to sing the blues away as the games never stop in the stockyards before you end up a discard, a shard of a remaining reflection without quality, not a piece of meat worth reflections. Do the feckless become sociopaths, corporatists, or apparitions? Thank you.
It's a great ending.
Thank you. And we're gonna, our first open mic reader is Susan Wyman. Big round of applause for Susan Wyman, everyone.
Thank you. So I'm going to read sort of a sentimental piece called Food is Love. Breakfast with grapefruit sections, oranges, oatmeal, garden tomatoes, challah, bagels, cream cheese, butter, poached eggs, and milk. The kitchen housed a refrigerator, freezer, and I need to change my glasses. That's the
That's my fault.
The wardrobe change.
Thought I could get away with it, but it's not going to happen. All right. So the kitchen housed a refrigerator, freezer, and in the porch lived a double door freezer and yellow cabinets filled with canned goods. She stashed the candy in a hexagonal shaped table in the living room and in the top middle drawer of the sideboard. Loose Tootsie Rolls, M&Ms, sugar-free mints, and individually wrapped chunks of double bubble gum rolled around the drawer along with hairnets, green stamps, paper clips, rubber bands, old photos, and rolls of pennies. My grandmother had supersonic hearing. No matter the time or how quiet we were, she could hear us open the refrigerator, the candy drawer, or the door to the table. What are you looking for? She'd call out. Are you hungry? Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Give a big round of applause for our next reader, John Hall, everyone. Big round of applause for John Hall.
Can I be John S. Hall today?
Sure, John S. Hall.
Thanks. Okay, I've got 3, and they're all kind of in response to the prompts, but only one actually answers the prompt. This is a 2 from today, 1 from yesterday. Okay. This is poem number 285. There, it is accomplished. I wrote a poem following the prompt. Write a 10-line, 5-word per line poem called Required Reading Above and Beyond Your Socks, or This Page Could Not Be Found. Now, what will I do with the rest of my morning? This is poem 284. I'm reading them in reverse chronological order. I guess I should have said that.
It's okay.
I Googled American broken sonnet. I came up with nothing. This page could not be found. I studied the required reading above and beyond your socks. This sucks, I told myself. I threw up my hands. They are on the floor. I will clean them up. I will sin no more. That was a 10-line poem, 5 words each line with the title.
Okay.
Poem number
I'm not
281.
checking you. It's not homework, but
Poem number 281. I spent more than 2 minutes Googling broken sonnet and gave up. So fuck that prompt. I don't like the title required reading above and beyond your socks or this page could not be found. I don't think I can do anything with it, but I could try. So fuck that prompt for now, but I may have to return to it. I like the title After Falling on the Floor, Stars Game Systems, even less than I like the title Required Reading Above and Beyond Your Socks or This Page Could Not Be Found. I usually like my poems to have at least the semblance of sense, so fuck that prompt as well. And now that I look at it again, I wonder whether the prompted poem for the second prompt could be entitled either Required Reading Above and Beyond Your Socks or This Page Could Not Be Found, or whether it must be titled Required Reading Above and Beyond Your Socks or This Page Could Not Be Found. I could easily write a 12-line poem where line 6 is cryptocurrency, crypto art, this is a robbery so cryptic, in and out of the crypt creeper. That is almost too easy, or maybe it is too easy, but making line 2, the weary combat mania by baking bagels temporarily forgetting what is lost, is simply too nonsensical even for me. So fuck that prompt. And fuck the final prompt as well. The proffered lines are even less sensical than the proffered lines of the previous nonsensical prompt. Every single song in the concert film Stop Making Sense made more sense than the nonsense proffered in most of these prompts. I am strongly tempted to write a broken sonnet despite not knowing what a broken sonnet is, but most likely I will land on either Required Reading Above and Beyond Your Socks or This Page Could Not Be Found, or both. And that is all. Thank you. I actually enjoyed the prompts.
That's okay.
I really did. I really enjoyed them.
It's all it's like it's just random free writing, yes. So that doesn't always work.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Big round of applause, everybody, for John C. Hall. Everyone got S. Hall. Sorry. Please welcome our next open mic reader, Olena Jennings. Everyone, big round of applause for Olena.
Hello. I'm going to read a piece called Perfume. Asia convinced me that my scent was obsession. She went with poison, the dark purple bottle that made me imagine she smelled of rotten plums sprayed into button-down rayon blouses. My scent was more musky. My scent drew an outline around me. My scent came from department stores. We bought it at the time of free gifts, lipsticks a shade too light and blush an ordinary pink. Our ghosts lingered behind us as we walked through the aisles. She held out her wrist, I breathed in. My scent was withheld, my scent was once mine. My scent was the color of smoke. I wondered if I could take on her scent. I could wear it like camouflage in the dress department. I think about how she has already started to tattoo mine into her skin. Thank you.
Thank you, Olena. Please welcome our next reader, Sarah Sarai. Big round of applause for Sarah, everyone.
Yay, me. I'm just, okay. I always feel like I've read the same poem over and over, but anyway, did I read? Okay, I'll just read it. If you heard it before, you're hearing it again. So the title is Escaped Cow Souls. And it's, I wrote it after reading a poem by Jack Weiler, who some of you might remember. He died about 4 or 5 years ago. He was a New Jersey poet. And one of the poems, and he also blurbed my first book. And one of the poems that he wrote, he had visited somewhere in Wisconsin with a girlfriend, and her father's cow was missing, or one of them. So he writes about that. After Escaped Cow Souls After Thinning the Herd by Jack Weiler. I am on my back wondering, am I in Jack's poem searching for a cow? It's out in the woods with its legs sticking straight up to the stars. Quote, its never-born calf by its side. Jack's in Wisconsin with a girlfriend whose father is down one cow. A cow I see just as Jack sees her, and who I become in her death. I become each of her 4 dead cow legs, pointing toward 2 escaped cow souls. That's me as animal mother sorrow, me as animal grief, my hooves lifted from the forest floor, my mood from the depths, my mother unknowable in my heart, my mother in the forest, my mother, the dead farm animal, me, my mother's calf emerging. Jack knew he was stamped mortal and took the bribe, the fun stuff, speeding up the adventure. Home in New Jersey, he remembered the cow and her calf, the obligation of mourning for us all. Okay, then this. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm always sorry. Just in general, could I say I'm sorry? Okay, thank you.
You're forgiven.
With this
whatever,
whole human...
whatever it is.
Not me, it cries. Your past doesn't haunt you. You haunt your past. Middle of the night, it jerks you awake. Shit. What are you going to blame me for now? Spots your darkened eye. Your smile, a cache of memories, a loop, tooling outskirts of best times ever. Manic, when manic was weirdness of courage. Originality manifested delusion and the primal self. Tears, because tears are not words. I don't know why that's gone. Age's clarity will not be heard. And then the last one, this is, okay. So this is written in syllables. I counted syllables for this. So I think it was 5, 6, 7, 8 for each stanzas. 5, okay. A bad spell in the life of this poem. In Bed and Restless, this poem counts syllables. She's a real American, a self-styled self-improver. Afoot by day, she's on the make for a new. Synchronicity for one, but she sees what's ahead and behind and screams, F off, soul crusher thugs, mercenary billionaire 1%er thugs, we see you. This poem isn't wrong, but you can't make good on Yeats' cruel paradise, where the king is but as the beggar. That's from, well, anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. That's from Running to Paradise by Yeats.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's hard to read in bed. It's easy to read a book, but it's hard to read out loud.
I would say so.
These may be my dying words.
It's hard to read in bed. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Please welcome our next open micer, Patricia Kerrigan, everyone. Big round of applause for Patricia.
Sarah, that would make a great poem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone can do it.
Okay, one poem is a newbie. Blue Moon, inspired by Ella Fitzgerald. Her song. Okay. Mom used to say the wheel of fortune would spin for some and not for others. That good things might come once in a blue moon. Luck differs from person to person, and blue moons happen every 2 to 3 years. A blue moon saw me stand alone under radiance of fool's gold, being about 238,855 miles away. How can it see what's going on? Hear thoughts pound head and heart. Blue moons are full moons, harbingers for problems, life's lunacies and systemic stress. Their names born from Bilu, Old English for betrayal. I'm not into cliched romance or a satellite idol with a Swiss cheese exterior. When the earth has been arrested by its own inhabitants and justice has left the building. Thank you. I'm going to read one more, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the night. Oh dear, what did I do with it? I'm sorry. I had the poem here and I screwed up here. Oh dear, I think I better skip it. Oh, okay. The hell with it. I'll just read the Bookworm Goddess. You sang happy birthday to Kennedy and everyone loved you, or did they? Platinum blonde enchantress, bookworm goddess who wanted to blow out the universe. We were never told your true story when they programmed us to be sexy, play dull designated characters, never the in-between or outside roles, never to be thinkers, questioners, cerebral rebels with pencil, pen, or keyboard. You found yourself on bookshelves, scribbled poems with Joyce, Proust, Hemingway. Your Norma Jean face writhed in conflict, and who were we to critique when beauty had roots in imperfection and judgmental eyes saw what they wanted to see, never in agreement. But we never noticed that back then. Only a platinum blonde enchantress whose alleged suicide ended dilemma. The pill bottle silence left us guessing. Too many still thrive on gossip. Thanks.
Thank you, Patricia.
Nice poem.
Thank you.
Please welcome our next reader, Matt Waters. Big round of applause for Matt Waters, everyone.
Hi, everybody. So I did 2 of the prompts, so I'll share those with you now. This page could not be found. He came with a limp. The metropolis superseded his imagination. Here he may disappear consciously. He was hiding from someone. Film school was his alibi for considering your towering ideas. He replaced your toilet roll, had a plastic baggy toothbrush, couldn't finance his feature film. Nobody knows where he went. He worked at the library. After falling on the floor, stars, game systems. The very things which make me, the diorama of my identity, happen to be products conditioned into me. In our zeal for uniform morality, is there a need to justify Super Mario's 16-bit supremacy? Though I had Genesis too, so I guess it accounts for my non-binary being. Somewhere in the bleachers at Old Yankee Stadium is my own individual philosophy. I'll get back to work on it as soon as the happy drunk stops talking to me. Until then, I'm such a genre man, taking comfort in the static crackle of talk radio idiocy.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
And our next reader is Noah Levin. Big round of applause for Noah, everyone. Welcome back, Noah.
Greetings all. So I'm gonna read a piece. This poem's like entirely too long for every open mic ever. So I'm just gonna read the first piece, mostly, rather the first part of it. It's 5 parts, but shit, I just kind of missed it. So, and then I'm gonna read 2 other short pieces. This is called Consumer Nation. 1, consumption. Gray syndrome, whose towers and concrete spires and rectangular bleak formation till and pockmark foundation, supporting the structure of the great machine beast whose heart of fire turns us all on its great conveyor belt of uniformity. Desire the same, but the machine beast's belly is composed of unquenchable fire. And the clank of the machines that create the product beat in a uniform pattern, you can lay your ear to the ground to hear the pulse. 9 to 5 and parts mailed in as businesses sell to businesses, and sweat and dirt of grime knuckle plows the lane to the cashiers. The great conveyor belt that is the beast's tongue pulls us in line for what we must have. I once found my happiness in a bag, and I looked over the masses lined up, waiting for the parcels. We all in unison bowed down on our knees to the metal works of dull landscape that lay in symbolic temples to the mass consumption and life cycles that lay in the waste of generations, hinges on the axis of that great pounding heartbeat of the machine beast that you can hear when you lay your ear to the temple, the factory that pounds. To get, to salivate, to want, to buy. Oh, you must buy, consume. You must consume as your knees dig deep upon the structure that keeps it all afloat, that keeps the beast moving, that underlies our great motivation of desire and all burning consumption. Neon signs blind the eye, and Pavlov says, you want now. Don't look down. Look at the hinges next on the conveyor, and wars will lay waste to those who clamor to provide to our insatiable thirst. Happiness is a stuffed pig waiting for slaughter. There's like 4 more parts to that, but I'm not going to finish that today. All right, let's finish up with, let's cut that one. I'm just going to finish up with this one piece. This is called A True Story of My Youth. I'm going to change speeds on this one. Many years ago, down at the crossroads on a dusty road, the devil had come to collect his due. Son, he said, we've danced the dance of the damned many a year, and I've always been with you through the good and the bad. Now you turned your back on the others, and the time has come. Oh, the time has come. Well, the sun settled back into the night as the twilight shrouded the road before me, and my shadow fell long and wide into the great unknown. I squinted hard at that imposing figure in front of me as that demonic friend, that great evil fiend that allowed me to lean upon his shoulder for so long, pulled out a piece of parchment and told me it was time for me to sign. I looked hard, I did. No, I won't lie. I looked hard. The terms were those I had written in my own hand, and I looked back at the barren wasteland I had left as a prideful plight behind, and we both knew I couldn't go back. I looked ahead, and the road looked worse because it didn't lie. Oh no, it didn't lie. So I looked inside, and I knew what I had to do. I looked the devil in the eye, and I said, devil, I don't need you. Well, my evil friend looked at me with the look of one who's seen the fool of fools and laughed his laugh till it rang off the land for 1,000 miles. And he said, boy, you're a fool. No one says no now. I'm all you have, and the road ahead can't be walked alone. You need me, or the road will be your death. Now I knew what he said was the truth, but I searched inside and I summed up my strength. Oh, I summed up my strength and I said, devil, you can take your contract, you can take your pitchfork, and you can shove them both up your demonic ass, because I'd rather die alone than keep going with the likes of you. And so I wrested my tattered soul from the clutches of the devil, and with the tip of my hat and my suitcase in my hand, I departed down that treacherous road. Because if I don't have God and I've told off the devil, then I'll do it alone with no regrets. No regrets. Thank you all.
Thank you, Noah. And our final reader before the our feature, Maria Lazella. Please welcome Maria Lazella, everyone.
Oh, sorry. Did you call on me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, no.
It's okay. I was. That's why I asked you to unmute, because I was like, I realized maybe you weren't.
Yeah. Okay. This is a fairly new piece, so I'm still kind of sort of in progress, but I don't know. I feel kind of safe in Micah's space, so I'm gonna try it. What I'd want for you. I dunk a pan de queso in my café con leche as I sit under the L, whose underbelly is lined with spikes to discourage pigeons from landing, doing their business and leaving a mess. It's the exact spot where a transit worker gave me a history of how these urban creatures are not indigenous to New York City fire escapes and subways and telephone poles that are fast vanishing. but from North Africa and the Mediterranean Sea. I look up, catch the flash of a slim child, dreadlocks flying with the wind, navigating through traffic like a dancer on a skateboard. That vision of the straight-backed flyer, the happy child, someone's child, who feels the freedom on his or her hair, their legs, strong tree trunks, and small waist that pivots with the dodging and ducking one needs for such a feat. I wanted that to be you. My unnatural and most desired son, whose life has shimmied down a pole of loss, confusion, and hallucination. The longing I feel to be able to catch that freedom and give it back to you, so you too could roam free as any wind between brick walls and under steel girders that snake through the Bronx and Queens. And I would watch you from behind as you glide through a life without the awesome drag of olfactory hallucinations that distance your that distort your imagination, laced with grandiose messages that take you to Greece while you actually stand in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, all the open mic readers. Okay, we're gonna introduce our feature, and then I'm going to make her the host so she can share her screen with you. And just to start, this is our feature is Terese Svodoba, and this is her new book, Theatrics, Poetry Plays. It's fantastic. Buy it as soon as you can, or if you can. And it's a Ashinga, if I'm saying it right, press. She can correct me. And let me introduce Terese Svodoba. Terese Svodoba's new book has already garnered strong praise from established voices in the field of innovative poetics. The author of 19 books of poetry, fiction, memoir, biography, and translation, Svodoba's other titles include Anything That Burns You, A Portrait of Lola Ridge, Radical Poet, which appear in paper in 2018, and Great American Desert, a book of stories in 2019. A Guggenheim Fellow, she has been awarded the Bops Prize in Fiction, the Iowa Prize for Poetry, an Annie H. Grant for Translation, the Gray Wolf Nonfiction Prize, a Jerome Foundation Prize for Video, the O. Henry Award for the short story, and a Pushcart for the essay. Please give a big Risk of Discovery round of applause for Terese Svodoba, everyone. Okay, and yeah, so unmute yourself, and I'm gonna change it to you, the host. Okay, hold on. Make host. All right, you're the host now, Terese.
Okie doke, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if what I'm doing here. I think it's this one.
There you go.
Okay, great. Thank you for that introduction. And it was great to hear your poems. You were really marvelous performers. I mean, in this new weird Zoom world, and one performs rather than the theater or the stage even. Which brings me to Theatrics, Poetry Plays. This is the first poem in the book, and it's the toughest and most complicated poem. I guess I just decided to alienate the readers right off the bat and give them something to chew on. It's kind of a combination between absurdist theater and political concerns. And in this particular one, Hair is the play that we end up in. Stage manager, lights up. Giant hand moves the parade ground, stage left. Set. Oh my God, the alien blows through the one window not yet painted over. ... Dancers tambourine in shivers in front of the guns. What about this is false? The scale, the alien plastered to the wall in a green you can't see, the trust you place like an acorn in the seat. Marching soldiers, drape the pretty flowers on the muzzle. Whereupon the put upon, i.e. ladies, leap like petals falling off, each a drop of solder for the soldiers, their feet led. Who, me? To the elderly mirror? The play Hair, comedian Jack Benny. Did you happen to notice if any of them were Jewish? The alien, some of you get that. The alien drops its eyes to the credits on paper. Dramaturg. Not only did many of the lyrics in the play not rhyme, but many of the songs didn't really have endings, just a slowing down and stopping, so the audience didn't know when to applaud. me beckoned. So I was surprised that I would have had to identify Jack Benny, but apparently not everybody knows who he is.
Nope.
Okay.
I know, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Younger people don't.
I know because of PBS, and they would show these things in reruns, and Monty Python and Blackadder and all that.
I showed my kid To Be or Not to Be, and it's one of her favorite movies.
Yeah,
she's 14.
Actually,
yeah.
I actually grew up on Jack Benny radio programs. It's a true story.
Great.
Who just showed up on the radio and tuned in.
Wow.
Well, I found this medallion about this size at a yard sale, but it was tossed in the trash. I pulled it out, and it looked, I was sure it was some kind of president or some kind of, scientific brilliant innovator. And it was surrounded by brass, and it was Jack Benny. So I think that was my influence there. The second one is continuing on the liberation front. This is me putting together the writing with theatrical freedom and the political. Let freedom ring. In the everyday, we set our faces and draw eyebrows, cock our heads in disguise. Would we recognize freedom amongst us if he peeled the pantyhose off his face, if he romped through the wavy grain? Thus disoriented, the bell clapper, the cue coming up fast, the play relentless, in this regard, always half-assed. What kind of ass is that? Its confines a quarter turn tighter, like mental illness undiagnosed. We bell ring, oh, it's Friday, that kind of freedom. Or act as ringers for a celebrity you wouldn't know what to say to after all this talk anyway. Come on, don't fright, no bolting, even if what you hear so soon louder is confusing. The to be verb cancels the simulacrum. To be or not is real. The theater is only patriots, their uniforms, their regiment, unless they enforce otherwise. So I feel very fortunate with Zoom because I can show you all the little games that I'm playing on it with the lines and so forth. And in this one, I decided actually throughout the book that punctuation had only to be consistent poem by poem, and that I could sometimes do different things with punctuation. And I fell in love with, as you can tell, brackets. Hey, not a lot of people use them, and it's just lying around, and it gives you another voice. I was interested in a way to, get more voices in than the voice-driven 70s voice that most of the time you hear. This one is freeing ourselves from the personal past, in my case, mom. Out of ringing ears. Renegade automated car says it can get us back. Automated voice, get us back. Where? Slips of paper crushed, still warm, thigh curve from being slept upon, says, called forth. Ring, ring, no sympathy. The better, the sooner, get back. Whose renegade scalp do you see taken in a world of get back? The tonic someone, no, we have not met. Invisible people on stage, clothes on hangers. The automated voice, get back. Well-dressed versus ill-dressed, she said, and not this time, beat time. Scottisha, slow polka to you. And over the table, bedspread, under which a house hides, the chair-rung entrance, that far back. I wore her clothes all my life. Even now, her blouse curses me from the closet. Pretend, limp opossum at the vet's. The chorus needs feeding, the chorus breaking the toilet, the chorus on its hind legs, the chorus that's back to grease. Water deliciously advances, voice over it, stage misdirection, under it. A cannon signals the end, ring, ring, automated voice. You can't escape. The ringing, by the way, is my dog wanting out, so sorry. That you teach them something and then they, they want out all the time. The next one, I'm reading you 6, so we're at number 4. This one is COVID as James Bond, and the theatrics of movie life with regard to COVID. DXM as Bond, cough, cough. A sideways stride crouch toward your husband, je suis fatigué. The cell threatening, not a commies. I'm really not beyond punning. Your husband with his hands up and soaped, the syrup of cell death sliding off, the cell-laden wind lifting the lace of my old lady armchair, once dressed in a bikini, your torso. Because this is crossfire, the bullets bouncing like mercury loosed from its sheath, sex left over from the last scene, barely remembered as lived, the bikini straps broken, you as unfaithful as the imagined butler who exits with his hesitation intact, almost thoughtful, swaying away, feverish, fevered, the past tense, the bodies pile up. On our knees now for Deus ex machina, to drop his big hypodermic from the cloud, not the place that remembers every keystroke. Hear DXM complain, always with the sky? Scanning it, nonetheless, for Bond tailoring. We wait in uxorial non-handholding, getting old, getting older, antibodies still very pro. This one is in a very traditional voice-driven series of couplets, and it's using democracy as politics as theatrics. It's based on a personal experience where I lived in the Sudan for a while and lived with a family, and I finally met the woman of the house 35 years later, and so this describes the meeting. The alphabet. Portraits of graduates line the room, even the children of the second wife, even her, as dead as your husband. He was taken and beaten, governor at last released, but falling to the ground, your son putting a phone to his head to talk to you. You were in Egypt, in exile, safe. All he said was A, B, C, D, what men repeat during torture so they reveal nothing, or to bear it without screaming, or remembering how they learned the alphabet under a tree with the flies thick and the good smell of milk on their hands. A, B, C, D, you say over tea. Have a biscuit? I helped you cook so long ago, cross-legged on cement, in a soot-black kitchen open to the sky. In the yard, a circle of chairs. Your husband pouring the scotch of some aid worker wanting some permission. When kerosene half lit their faces, the speeches began. Rhett tried to hush them, but they went on and on into the absolute black of the Sudanese night, democracy off stage, tense, waiting. And, oh, thank you. And the last one is, nod to the old bard, Shakespeare and women and, our triumph. A tripod provides stability against downward and horizontal forces. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm sorry, the dog edits my work and he got a hold of an important piece. A tripod provides stability against downward and horizontal forces. By the pricking of my thumbs, someone wicked this way comes. Something wicked this way comes. Shakespeare, Macbeth. A tripod of women croon, should we sell the beach house? Will the shelf fall when I pull the plug? While the wrens of disaster flutter above, the methane cloud, the best for heat trapping, or CO2, and the stage revolves its nothingness, belching blanks. They stir the pot. They lift their skirts. The smell. I predict, say all of them. The play begins. The ocean rises. Every drop a sop, or is it vice versa? Pendulous liquid poised to ferry us down the drain. The willow weeping breaks the well's walls. The hyacinth chokes the river. The ocean beats time. 3 women dance to what they hear. We're right. Toes hitting ether. Chance but a chain of electrons vibrating almost endlessly. Only error shitting life. 3 fates. So few. Weird means fate. Solarity mother. Lunacy daughter. Dark crone. The lot of mortals. Wouldn't you like to know? Thank you.
Big round of applause for Terese Svodoba, everyone. That was fantastic.
Woo.
Buy her book, Theatrics Poetry Plays, wherever books are sold. Better at a independent bookseller.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you can, you switch us back to the.
Those are wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Do you have any questions about anything that I might have answers to?
Sure. Question and answer time.
I don't know how to phrase it, except it was so interesting that they're theatrical, but they're really poems.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds simple to say, but I was so impressed with that.
Yeah, I found it was really, it derives from wanting to have more than one voice and have the poem start to kind of talk to itself. It was really fun to suddenly, I mean, it's almost schizophrenic, right? You have all these, you do have all these voices in your head, but to be able to include it without going Browning, a little soliloquy or a little monologue or dialogue. So I hope you can use those ideas.
And the brackets were like asides.
Yeah, right. Or whispered. And I had italics for different, you might just hear them differently with the different uses of punctuation.
So is this play supposed to be read or to be heard or both?
Well, I always look for a genre that can't possibly be exploited. So,
it's interesting.
this is on the page, I would prefer, a full scale production, but the whole idea was that it would be seen on the page and, I could collapse it down to the page. So you as God, that is the poet, could have the stage yourself.
Anybody else?
Originally a poet or a playwright?
Pardon me, am I?
Yeah, were you originally a poet before you started doing playwriting, or were you a playwright before you done poetry?
I have written a few plays. I've only had operas produced, which is kind of, like a play, because there's a dramatic narrative through the poems that you produce for them to sing. But no, I'm primarily a poet, no matter what genre. It's like a curse, It's just what you really enjoy doing. Poetry is so wonderful. Yeah. Yes, yeah. And but poets being on the avant-garde, always trying to renovate poetry. You can steal from all these people, and they steal from us all the time. I mean, what's the big deal? And I always look around for things that can be used, and I recommend that you do that too. Steal anything. I mean, the modernists in the 20s, you took the what am I trying to say? The advertisements and billboards and so forth. That's just a quick example of what's just lying around.
Is this your first book of these? Because I've read other, I've never, are these your first play poems?
Yeah. I always felt that you had to be really serious and deadly serious. And so, I'm old now and I can write anything I feel like writing and hope that somebody might be interested. So I don't know if there are any more left in me, but they were great. They were lots of fun to write. And anyway, no. I don't know. I remember what the question was, but
I don't either.
Yes.
I'm so happy to laugh. Thank you.
I'm curious how, maybe you sort of covered this a little bit. How this particular, I mean, it's kind of like, it's a genre that really can't be categorized,
Yes.
right? So, how did you just start doing that? You just were just trying to something else out, and it just, it's
Well,
kind of an unfair question because sometimes you can't trace how you did this.
yeah. Well, this is my 8th book of poetry. So, I tried out a lot of other things, but I went to a weekend with this playwright named Mac Wellman in the Lower East Side in New York. And I only got to go a couple of days. I couldn't go for the whole thing, but he kind of introduced to avant-garde theater the idea that language is a character too, and that you could just conjure it up on the page, and then you give it to the dramatists and they figure out what to do with a spaceman falling in, or somebody who finds a leg in the middle of the room. And I thought, well, gosh. I could use that. But it took me, that was like 15 years ago. So I've been thinking about it a while, I guess. And I had a couple of poems in my previous book that I think it was my selected, that I was trying that out. And then I thought, and then when I was forming the book, I took some poems and kind of fiddled around with them so that I could make them theatrical. So it was a little cheating, and it was, but the better ones are really they're just experiments, like you are always doing. Is
Interesting, because you sort of just borrowed sort of the best things that you could work with fluently, and then you incorporated them.
Yeah.
Feels like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you write your own poems, even if you're not conscious of it, you're cheating and looking at other people and pulling together things that are important to you. Because most of these poems actually are deadly serious and have to do with very serious subjects.
Right.
But my opinion, which is not everybody's, you understand how something is serious by looking at both sides, both the less serious side and the deadly serious, and they both work together.
Right. Like Greek tragedy.
Yeah, Greek tragedy. There's one.
That's how I felt about a little, because you're mixing humor. You're mixing a lot of humor with these characters and real life characters and comedians. And I try to do that too sometimes, to slip in some humor in there, even though subjects are often dark.
Yeah.
So. It was interesting how you worked that. You created balance actually in that way. I don't know if you realized how, because just listening to it for the first time.
Well, you don't want to make fun of your subject, right? So you do have to think about
that. Yeah. It's a fine line, because, sometimes you want to be clever, and it's to the detriment of the whole thing. So as Frank Bedard says, you have to kill your darlings.
Yeah. If you get them, you can kill them.
Yes.
If you get here, right.
How many are there in the book? How many poems make? Oh, it's not a big deal then. You don't have to look.
No, actually, that's a good question. I suppose it's like at least a 70-page book. Here it is.
Okay. Do you consider there to be a whole arc to it, or?
Well, one does struggle with the whole arc. And I ended up, actually, I wanted it 68 pages. I was really enamored of the House of Atrium. I thought, from the 70s and 80s, atriums were the classiest things in hotels. And, it's a Greek word. It just sounds so ponderous and in architecture. So I originally thought the book was going to be called The House of Atrium, and, making fun of Greek tragedy. And so that's the last poem in the book. At least that was the shape that it ended in. Looking, it comes in 3 sections. Oh no, just 2 sections. and I can't remember exactly how the divided, except that the last poem in the first section, Nobody Knows How to Put Her Out, is really very absurdist. And it was long, like 2.5, 3, maybe 4 pages long. And that the weight of a poem like that needed to end a section. So that was the logic behind where that went and why it stopped a whole section. And the second part is a little more personal. I start off with a poem called Dad or God. And then, and it contains a poem called King Lear that was about my father, which was L-E-E-R. So, you know, you gotta have to reward them as they're going along reading the book with something topping the last one.
Here, children. This will keep you listening.
That's right.
Gotta have some good puns and wordplay, and everyone giggles.
Yeah, you notice that dad is a 3 letters, just like God is a 3 letters.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's that little.
Yeah, or dog.
Yeah, well, that's God backwards.
Yeah, I have a
Or
poem.
dog backwards is God, whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, I encourage you to think of your less dark side once in a while, because it's just as good as the, I mean, I think poets today make humor has a bad name with poets today. So that needs to stop. Because people, poetry is all about play. You are, I'm talking about the other idea of play, that you're playing with words. That's what makes it so intriguing.
Mm-hmm. It's an art form.
Yeah. But it's, you know, you have to get what enjoyment you can out of it, because you're not going to get rich.
We know that.
I'm glad to hear that. Yes.
We know that too well. My novel.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you so much for doing this, Terese. And a big round of applause for Terese Svodoba, everyone. And a round of applause for yourselves, too.
And for you, thank you so much for, you know, Micah.
Oh, yes, Micah. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for reaching out. And, you know, Christina, like Marie Darling, she like made that happen, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a wonderful week and write more great poems.
You too.
Thank you. You're inspiring.
And I'm just like, our next one is going to be April 20th with the poet John Compton. And keep risking, keep discovering, keep imagining, and be safe, stay healthy, get your shots as soon as you can. And
next week, next Wednesday.
In the next 2 or 3 months, hopefully, cautiously. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Great reading.
Stay
Great to see
safe.
everybody.
Great reading. Thank you, everybody.